The objective of the labor inspection is to further strengthen the implementation of the visitorial and enforcement powers under the Labor Code as renumbered, towards securing a higher level of compliance with labor laws and standards and ensuring continuity and sustainability of compliance at workplaces. For this purpose, the Department of Labor and Employment delegates this function to the regional offices with the issuance of a list of labor inspectors who are given the authority of conduct inspection, which covers all private establishments, including their branches and workplaces in the regions. The regional offices enforce labor laws and social legislation through the conduct of labor inspection, occupational safety and health investigation, and technical and advisory visit. Special inspections may be conducted as may be deemed necessary. With the provision for mobile devices and gadgets, the DOLE developed an inspection management information system. An important feature of the system is data capture and transmittal from the field in real time, as an electronic checklist is filled up through the use of mobile devices and gadgets. Data are instantly available for viewing and processing to generate reports, statistics, and summons, including real-time monitoring of decent work indicators based on the country's decent work profile. The TAV, or Technical and Advisory Visit, aims to provide assistance to the micro-establishments, or establishments that have 1 to 9 employees, to be sustainable, productive, and competitive. It also aims to transition our micro-establishments to the formal economy that is profitable, while also complying with our labor laws and occupational safety and health standards. There are different ways or modalities to avail TAB. First is the online method. Establishments can enroll in the self-paced technical and advisory modules through our learning management system. For establishments that opted to go with online, they must accomplish the modules within 1 month from the time they registered. Second is on-site. The DOLE regional, field, and provincial offices conduct on-site or face-to-face orientation for the technical and advisory services, wherein micro-establishments are invited to attend. Third is hybrid setup. Establishments can enroll in on-site sessions and attend virtual meetings or webinars using various online platforms like MS Teams, Viber, Skype, Zoom, or Google Meet.
Establishment owners carry a big responsibility to comply with labor laws, including submitting reports and providing documents like payroll records during inspections. But the manual filing process is a major challenge. They need to spend time, money, and effort to fill out forms and deliver them to the DOLE office, often dealing with traffic and delays. Sometimes, there's a long wait just to confirm if the report is accurate and complete. And it's not just employers facing difficulties. DOLE employees also struggle with limited manpower and the time-consuming task of reviewing and processing these reports. The time has come for change. What's required now is a more innovative, streamlined, and efficient process for handling compliance reports. One that will simplify life not just for businesses but also for DOLE employees. Welcome to the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, your all-in-one platform for seamless compliance submissions, designed to make compliance easier and more convenient for establishment owners. Telecommuting reports? Flexible work arrangement submissions? Reporting the 13th month pay? No problem. Even work accident or illness reports and the annual establishment report on wages, everything you need is now in one convenient portal. Plus, the online compliance portal now includes the latest requirement for reporting movie and television shoots under Department Order 246, Series of 2024. All your compliance needs in one place, quick, secure, and hassle-free. With the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, registering your establishment is a breeze. Our automatic registration system ensures you are instantly compliant with OSH Standard Rule 1020. Once submitted, your certificate of registration is immediately available for download, saving you time and effort. Need to manage your workforce details? The portal allows you to upload your employees' names and details using a CSV template. Once uploaded, these details are readily available for reports like the Flexible Work Arrangement Report, where selecting affected employees is as easy as a click. If your establishment has been flagged for non-compliance during labor inspection, don't worry. Required documents can be submitted quickly and conveniently. And if you're missing certain policies, like a mental health program or OSH program, we've got you covered with downloadable templates. Submit these documents directly through the portal, where Dole inspectors will review, provide feedback, and keep you on track for compliance. With admin access on the Dole compliance portal, labor inspectors can easily review submitted reports and documents from establishments. If further verification is needed, they can schedule an online meeting through Google Meet, all within the portal. This streamlines compliance checks, saving time and making the process more efficient for everyone. It's a smarter, more efficient way to stay compliant and keep your business running smoothly. Welcome to a new era of compliance, simplified, fast, and effective with the Dole Online Compliance Portal.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our webinar Wednesdays of the Department of Labor and Employment, hosted by the Bureau of Working Conditions. This is Engineer Melanie Banayos, your host for today's webinar. Last week, tinalakay natin ang holiday pay and premium payrolls in time para sa long weekend and observance of the Holy Week. Pinag-usapan natin ang legal basis ng holiday and premium pay, sino-sino ang mga empleyadong sakop ng benepisyong ito, kailan makatanggap ng holiday pay, at kailan naman para sa premium pay. Siyempre, kasama din anong petsa ng declared as regular holiday at petsa ng mga special non-working day. So ngayon, Season 3, Episode 13, tatalakayin natin ang isa sa mga mapapanahong issue sa mundong ng paggawa. For today's episode, we will feature a presentation on revolutionizing health and safety, the role of AI and digitalization at work towards safety at zero accident. Isang makabuluhang diskusyon na siguradong magbibigay linaw kung papaano makakatulong ang makabagong teknolohiya sa pagsusulong ng kaligtasan sa lugar paggawa. But before we start, we'll have a short prayer so that we will be blessed this afternoon.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you today with hearts full of gratitude for the opportunity to gather in this webinar. We thank you for the gift of technology that allows us to connect, learn, and grow even from afar. We ask for your guidance and wisdom for every speaker and participant so that we may share valuable and inspiring insights. Help us listen with open minds and hearts, eager to learn from one another. Grant us clarity of thought and expression, making our discussions meaningful and impactful. We pray that this session fosters understanding, collaboration, and the sharing of knowledge that benefits everyone. May your presence be felt in our midst, encouraging a spiritual of unity and respect. We trust in your divine wisdom to lead us through any challenges or difficulties we may face today. As we conclude this time together, may we carry forward the lessons we have learned with a renewed sense of purpose and dedication. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Again, good afternoon to our Facebook viewers. Thank you for joining us today. Paki-heart and like react naman ang ating live stream. Please hit the follow button on our Facebook page, Dole BWC 1949, to get updated on the latest announcement and to know more about labor standards and occupational safety and health standards in the workplace. Please share this live stream with your friends, family, and colleagues, and use the hashtag Webinar Wednesdays. For questions and clarifications, please use the comment section below the screen, and our resource speaker will address them during the question and answer portion. So we have a special topic today. Okay, this is season 3, episode 13. But to formally open this one, I would like to share the message from our Bureau Director, Attorney Alvin Bicorada. Said, annually, the Philippines joins the global community in commemorating the World Day for Safety and Health at Work, which takes place on the 28th of April. This is spearheaded by the International Labor Organization. The event aims to promote the prevention of occupational accidents and diseases worldwide. The observance highlights the importance of fostering a strong occupational safety and health culture to protect workers from hazards and ensure decent working conditions. For 2025, the ILO has set the theme as Revolutionizing Health and Safety, the Role of AI and Digitalization at Work. This theme highlights the need for adaptive strategies and robust occupational safety and health systems to address the challenges posed by technological advancements, climate change, and emerging working arrangements such as digital and platform-based employment. So this afternoon, again, as part of the month-long celebration by the department in support of the global campaign to promote culture of preventing accidents and diseases at work, our topic is entitled Revolutionizing Health and Safety, the Role of AI and Digitalization at Work towards Zero Accidents. So paano magsisimula ang World Day for Safety and Health at Work? Ano ang impact ng illnesses, accidents, and fatalities sa enterprises at workers' productivity? Paano makakatulong ang AI at digitalization sa matatag na risk assessment upang maiwasan ang workplace illnesses and accidents? Bakit mahalaga ang bipartite mechanisms at social dialogue para isulong ang karapatan ng mga manggagawa sa kaligtasan at kalusugan sa lugar paggawa? At bakit kailangan ng maayos na notification system para matugunan ang pangailangan ng mga apektadong manggagawa? This afternoon, we are blessed to be able to invited a specialist. Okay, she is based in Bangkok, but now she's in Laos. But before his talk, I would like to introduce her. Okay, so she is a medical doctor by profession and holds a PhD in preventive medicine from the University of Occupational and Environmental Health in Japan. On foundation of her work experience in the medical field, a certified occupational physician, pediatrician, and travel health practitioner, she offered occupational safety and health services to both workers and employers in various settings. In 2003, she joined the ILO Sub-Regional Office of East Asia. Since then, she has contributed in improving and promoting safety and health at work through policy and technical advice, training, knowledge sharing, awareness raising, and project backstopping both at headquarters and in field offices. The areas she has particularly covered include OSH data, safety and health of vulnerable groups of workers. That's for female workers, young workers, migrant workers, and in those in the informal economy and hazardous child labor. So please help me welcome Dr. Dr. Yuka Ohita, a senior occupational safety and health specialist from the International Labor Organization, to share us a topic on revolutionizing health and safety, the role of AI and digitalization at work towards zero accidents. So, Dr. Yuka, please take the floor.
Thank you very much for MC for your very, very kind, detailed introduction. Good afternoon to you all. First of all, I'd like to thank the DOLE, the Bureau of Working Conditions, to invite us, the International Labor Organization, in this very unique the opportunity. This is the webinar Wednesdays. I'm just curious why Wednesday, but anyway, this seminar is very, very interesting, and I see the topic of the series of the webinar is very interesting, and especially today. Thank you very much for inviting us to this event, to webinar, to observe, especially for the World Day for Safety and Health at Work. So at this point, let me share my screen for my presentation. Just give me a second. Oh my goodness. Okay. No, I don't think something wrong. Okay, thank you for your patience. As MC already introduced, the ILO observes World Day for Safety and Health at Work since 2003, every year, April 28. And we have the annual theme, and it changes every year. And this year, the theme is the revolutionizing health and safety, the role of AI and digitalization at work. Today, I have the 25 or 30 minutes for my presentation. And in the first part, I'd like to show you what is the new technology, what is the AI and digitalization, how we can apply, and what is the benefit, and what is the risks in terms of safety and health at work. And in the latter part of my presentation, we will discuss about how we can address that challenge and maximize the benefit of the AI and the digitalization. And today, I will pick up the 5 main development. Yeah, it's the automation, advanced robotics, smart, I need to move this one, smart OSH tools and monitoring system, virtual reality, algorithmic management of work, changing work arrangement. Yes, for us, especially for my generation, my age, it is very much difficult to follow up and update myself to use the maximum use of this kind of new technology. Maybe the audience, you yourself, maybe it's not difficult, easy to manage, easy to operate. For me, is every day is the learning process, how we can learn the new technology, digitalization, and AI. Anyway, let's go one by one. The first 5 slides, I will pick up these 5 subjects and introduce you some benefits and also the potential risks. In fact, the automation and robotics is not very, very new, no? For example, in the factory, especially for the assembly line, the automation has been used for long, long years in the automobile sector or any other factory, right? The pressing machine or for example, the construction, this kind of the robotics or some wearable is already applied in many, many workplaces. And also the health sector or the care sector, by the way, our society is aging and the care economy is getting bigger and bigger. And actually the work in the care sector is very, very hazardous in terms of the ergonomics or the physical environment. But this automation and advanced robotics helps those workers, yeah, to remove workers from hazardous tasks and high-risk environment, especially for the manual handling and the physical strain. Let me share the laser pointer. Okay, and also this kind of equipment can minimize repetitive and monotonous tasks. However, at the same time, this is of course, this is the robot and it's the machine. So sometimes our body movement is restricted and not very often, but that sometimes the workers may lose the control of this kind of the equipment, right? And also another risk can be the excessive noise and vibration due to this use of this machinery. These are the pros and cons. Next one is the smart OSH tools and the monitoring system. This is also already used in many workplaces for the factory or the manufacturing or some production, construction, this kind of, you see this photo, it is very often we see in the workplaces. And actually the benefit includes the enabling real-time detection of the hazards by monitoring automatically using this kind of system, right? And especially the noise, air quality, or the temperature, it enables us to monitor 24 hours for 7 days per week for all days, every time the monitoring is possible. That is the very big advantage and benefit for the workers, and not only for the workers' health and safety, but also the productivity, right? And the risk assessment can be conducted using this monitoring system. However, also the workers face some hazards and risks by the fatigue, yeah, or especially for the eye strain or the ergonomics fatigue, because the workers needs to very much concentrate to the monitor. So the visibility, eye strain, muscle strain, that kind of hazards can be happen. And also sometimes it's very stressful and distraction from alerts and continuous monitoring. These are some potential risks. Then extended and virtual reality. The online training is the very commonly used. In fact, today we are on the webinar. Webinar is online training. And this is the very good the example using the technology, right? I am sitting in Vientiane in Laos on mission, but I can speak, I can share my experience and my view, and I can discuss with you online beyond the sea, beyond the distance. So this is the very, very good, the advantage. And also the more advanced technology using the virtual reality. And already the many training programs, training opportunity is provided using the virtual reality. Even for the ILO, we have some training programs in our international training center located in the Turin in Italy. They provide some training course using the virtual reality. And even in this region, for example, my colleague, they're working for the ship to shore project. That is the taking care of the decent work for the ship, the fishing sector. They use the virtual reality. They're using some 3D video to check the working conditions or to improve any problems without actually getting on board on the shipping vessels. They can use that kind of virtual reality. But of course, you can imagine that the kind of use of the virtual reality makes some strain, visual or the motion-related discomfort, right? Then what about the algorithmic management? I'm very difficult to pronounce this one, but this is more that using the technology, the computer, to organize and manage your planning, your action, your some concrete planning by using this kind of AI system or the computer system. And they already many of the workplace use this kind of management system, yeah, using the data. And the use of this kind of technology is extended very much recently. And for example, some countries use this management system for the inspection service. For example, in Singapore, they input all the data of the enterprise into computer, and they use the computer modeling. Then that the modeling gives the very clear inspection strategy. What is the most effective, most, the sufficient and efficient inspection? How often, where, what kind of, the point should be inspected? That kind of the technology is already used, not in the Europe or the US, but also in this region. However, it is accompanied with the risks. That is the increased pressure from real-time tracking. Yes, computer is very, very quick and provide a very high-level answer, but it is the pressure for the human being. And also, we cannot avoid any bias for the task allocation of the promotions. That is sometimes they need to see the very human-to-human communication, human-to-human arrangement. Otherwise, just the computer, is the machine. And our life is not computer. We are the human being. So that kind of, risks exist. And another very important hazards and risks is the social isolation. If we rely on too much on this kind of computerizing the technology, the people feel isolated, and the lack of the opportunity to communicate in person, no? So this kind of psychosocial hazards and risk factor. It is the very important to be addressed. Then the last one is the changing working arrangement through digitalization. In fact, we get a lot of benefit, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic, right? Many of us are allowed to working from home of the remote work. It increased the flexibility and they reduced the commuting related risks. For example, in Southeast Asia, we exposed to air pollution when we commuting using the public transport. Especially now, it's getting hot and hot, and it is not very comfortable to commuting using the public transport. So they benefit very, very lot. And also we have the more balance between our work and the family. However, it creates another problems, that is the inadequate home workstation, not only the home, but any workplaces, remote area, like the common space for the work, or sometimes a cafe. We can work from anywhere else, but very often the working environment in those settings is not very much consider the health and safety of the workers. And very often we see the screen too long time, prolonged screen exposure, and working too long working hours. And the last one, cyberbullying, is a kind of violence harassment due to using the digitalization. Okay. And especially in this region, I like to pick up a couple of the high risk situation. One is the workers in technology production and waste management. For example, the mining in the critical minerals, their working condition is very often high risk exposure. And also e-waste, electronic the waste. Of course, when we discard the computer or the smartphone, who treat that kind of e-waste? Very often it's go to the very less developed countries, and the workers who are not very well trained or the instructed, and very often not covered by the OSH services. Those informal economy workers are engaging to deal with the e-waste. So this is the reality. And another one is the remote telework and online platform work. It is very convenient for us. Every time, anytime, we can order the delivery, not only the food, but anything we can order by delivery. But the working condition, working environment of delivery workers, platform workers is not very well, not decent actually. Yeah. And of course, the working environment, lighting, air quality, this is the problem. And also they don't have the proper workstation. And always they facing the risk of musculoskeletal disorders, back pain, neck pain. And the psychosocial factors is another very important factor: burnout, emotional exhaustion, psychological strain, or the high turnover, and the violence and harassment. These are the emerging risk factors. And one of the example of the risk factor for the delivery workers is that exposed to the extreme heat. And also, very often they lack the job control. Yeah, they need to deliver as soon as possible. and otherwise they cannot get the income because they are not employed. They are self-employed. They are just the owner of the business, and their income is according to the amount of the delivery. So they cannot say, even though it's the very, very hot or the very heavy rain, they cannot stop the delivery. Then this video is very interesting. So I would suggest to connect this video, the YouTube, how we can control the heat stroke, the control, the prevent the heat stroke of this kind of delivery workers. Developed by the university, National University of Singapore. Okay, then let's move to how we can address this challenge. The role of the ILO, of course, the ILO has the international labor standards, especially for the OSH. We have the two fundamental conventions, 155, 187. 187 already Philippines ratified, and the very nearly you are about to ratify 155 as well. And these two conventions clearly set out what is the responsibility of each player, employers, and the government, and also the workers themselves. They have rights, but also they have duties. And even for the digitalization, AI, that is the new development, we can address using these two fundamental conventions. Other than that, these two fundamental conventions, we have the specific conventions, occupational health service, or list of occupational disease recommendation, or violence and harassment convention, Philippines ratified this 190 convention. And also, we have this year, the international conference in June, we will discuss about the new standards on decent work in the platform economy. And the occupational safety and health must be the very important element of this new standard. Okay, then what about the initiative, international, regional, and national level? At the international level, a lot of initiatives are ongoing to prevent the risk exposure of workers to exposed to these hazards and risk due to new technology. For example, G7. G7 is already start discussion how we can apply this technology and how we can prevent any adverse event. And the international institutions, for example, the International Ergonomic Human Factors Association already has some webinar series, or the IOSH. IOSH is the training and the professional organization on OSH. They have some solution on AI, ISO as well, right? And the workers and employers organization, already they have started discussion in the organizations. At the regional level, EU has a lot of actions already taken. And today I do not go detail of the EU initiative because all these items, information you can access through the EU webpage. Then what about the other region other than EU? Of course, EU is advanced, but what about the others? You see the ASEAN. ASEAN already started the action plan, digital integration framework. No, it started already 2019. It's very proactive. And they are now implementing the framework action plan. Also, the workers and employers ASEAN level Confederation of Employers promote responsible workplace on AI, right? And the other trade unions especially for the Public Service International PSI, they launched some initiative 2021. What about the national level? Yes, this is only some example. In fact, when you access to the ILO's report, it will be launched maybe tomorrow. The ILO's report provide a lot of good example at the international, regional, and national level. I just want to share some good example from the national level. These country from the Asia, India has the OSH policy. That policy address emerging risks in terms of the computer-aided risk assessment. And I know in the Philippines, you are working on to develop national OSH policy. Already you have the national OSH programs, but the national OSH policy, maybe you want to include something specific to deal with new emerging risk factors according to, due to digitalization and AI. And this one is the more subject matter, the automation and advanced robotics. These countries has already standards or the resolution, right to disconnect. Yes, in fact, I cannot resist to open my work email during the Saturday and Sunday, but every workers have rights to disconnect to this email or the internet or something. And the EU countries very sensitive, the rights to disconnect. And also telework and digital platform. The many countries starting to protect telework or the remote workers, freelance or the digital platform workers. And I like to show one good example, Singapore. This is the landmark act already enacted from the January 2025, the very new Platform Workers Act. And it provides the platform workers, even though they don't have the employment contract with any enterprises, they have rights, the same rights to the other employed workers. And also the health and safety is one of the provision. So I would suggest to check with this new Platform Workers Act from Singapore. And some countries has the provision for the labor inspectorates, yeah, regarding this kind of potential risks. It is very interesting, Mexico and Norway. And the voluntary standards and technical guidelines, yes, already we have a lot. The digital tools or the digitalization, automation, and robotics. For example, Australia, yes, these guidelines provide very concrete suggestion and recommendation regarding how to deal with robot design and implementation. And the training programs, yes, you can see many training programs already developed. In our region, Singapore has the Workplace Safety and Health Council, the Tripartite Council. They have the certification system based on the training on AI and robotics safety. Then what about the workplace level? Let me share my oversight, my view. In any case, the basic approach to workplace safety and health is the three components. One is risk assessment and control. Second, reporting, recording, and notification. And third, it should be integrated in the OSH management system. Yes, AI digitalization is the emerging new risk factor. However, we can address this new risk factor through risk assessment and reporting, recording, notification, and by including these factors into OSH management system. Yes, and this is the risk assessment 5 steps. And the procedure is exactly the same to the other hazards. Because as I said, even using the AI digitalization, hazards are basically the same. Ergonomic hazards, safety hazards, physical hazards, no? Is the working environment. Also psychosocial hazards. Hazards are the same, not new. So we can address these hazards by risk assessment and risk control according to the hierarchy of control. And this table provides you some idea how we can control these hazards and risks according to the hierarchy of control. First, elimination. Second, substitution. Engineering control, administrative control, and lastly, personal protective equipment. And if you access to our safety report, you can see this table. You can get some idea how you can deal with the risk. Okay, so this is my last slide, key takeaways today, webinar Wednesday today. That is we have new technology, new development using the AI digitalization, and especially I picked up 5 subjects. Each of the technology has benefit as well as hazards and risk. And we can address these risk factors by risk assessment, OSH management system, and by national legal policy framework and the guidelines and training. But still, a lot of things we don't know because this is new. We are not familiar with the new technology. So still, we need further research, further knowledge, and share knowledge and share good practices. Thank you very much for your attention. This is my, I stop here. Back to you, MC.
Thank you, Dr. Yuka, for sharing information about your topic. And I am sure that our viewers learned a lot from your presentation and discussion. So this afternoon, of course, we have a lot of questions prepared for you. So my colleagues would want to present first our question. That's a good discussion, Dr. Yuka.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've seen. I read one comment. This would. She says there that this will surely help them in upcoming with their
Thank you.
or yeah doing their safety program. Okay. Okay. So we have this first question. Can you read it, Dr. Yuka? You can say it. Okay, I'll read it for you. While adopting technology can lessen physical hazards which workers face, are there psychological hazards which are emerging from the adoption of new technology?
Yes, already I presented in my presentation. And the purpose of the new technology is the very good intention, no?
Mhm.
To reduce the risk factor and to reduce the risk and the increased productivity. That is the good intention. And they very much focus on the less physical hazard, right? But
Yeah.
at the same time, we need to think about, because we are the human being, we are not the machine. We need to use that kind of new technology by ourselves. We have to learn first, and we have to follow the instruction by machine or the computer. So that kind of monotonous actions or the lack of the autonomy. As I said, very often the human being, what to call, is the one of the important factor to keep your mental health very healthy is that you have you can control your job. Yeah. If you can choose your action, if you can choose the pace of the work, maybe your mental health level is keep very healthy. But if you lose the job control, yeah, you cannot control your work, always instructed or the guided by the computer, you lose your mental health. So it's the pros and cons. But yes, this is the very, very important point. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Yuka. It's just a matter of balancing everything.
True.
Okay, let's now go to the second question. Okay, the second one says here that what do these emerging risks and hazards mean for employers, workers, government, and safety practitioners?
Mean.
Yeah.
The hazards and risk mean.
Mhm.
It doesn't have any special mean because all workers have rights to
Mhm.
enjoy safe and healthy working environment. And if there is a risk or hazards or the risk in the workplace, that is the should be removed or the risk should be controlled. That is the responsibility primarily by employer, but not only by employer. The workers needs to collaborate with employers to reduce the risk or the control the risk or the eliminate hazards. And also the government should take lead role by providing the legislation or the enforcement or the TAF. I saw in the opening video, you talk about the TAF, that kind of advisory inspection. The government should provide the guidance to the employers, the workers, how they can control the hazards and risks. The hazard risks doesn't mean bad, it should be controlled.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Yuka. As if we are saying that it's not only this function or this concern is not just for the government to address, but of course, it's also the employer's responsibility and for the workers or employees also to follow because
Yes.
even if we have a good standards in the government, we have this we provided a good standard and then the employers had their good safety program. However, if the employees or workers will not cooperate and will not uh, follow these programs or these standards, then there will be no it will be a
Exactly.
waste. It will be a waste of time.
Exactly. That is the very, very important point. Thank you very much. In the ILO's jargon, we call it social dialogue.
Yeah.
But in terms of occupational safety and health, the communication and the work collaboration is the key to the successful prevention because you exactly said, even though the employers has the very good intention, very good, resources, if the workers doesn't follow the instruction or the workers doesn't, the take action, there's nothing happen. So the workers needs to discuss, they communicate the hazards and risks and discuss about how they can control the risks altogether by workers and employers.
Thank you, Dr. Yuka. Okay, let's now go to the third question. It says here, do you think there is risk in workplaces becoming too dependent on technological platforms or systems to detect workplace hazards and risks? And many of these systems can be bought off the shelf. If that's the case, what role is there for social dialogue on OSH?
It can be, but at the same time, the human beings needs the time to adopt and digest, absorb the new technology. usually the people, especially my age of generation, is that they very difficult to apply the new technology. But the young people is the no resistance to take the new technology. So this is good and bad. But we have to, yes, as you said, take balance between the taking the new technology, but just wait. No, just wait. We need to think about very seriously and carefully how we can apply this technology. So the back and forth, if we have take the good new technology and some problem, of course, it should be prevented before something happen. But we need to back and forth when you introduce the new technology. So that's why the 155, Convention 155 says risk assessment is important because when you introduce the new technology or the new work methodology, always you need to do the risk assessment before you apply the new methodology of work.
Yes.
Back to you.
So, yeah. So I think you're suggesting, Dr. Yuka, that if I am the investor, or I am the employer, if I think of something, a business strategy or a business, I should be thinking from the start, this strategy on how to do it until I should have a plan on how the workers will have their the hazards, what are the safety measures. So that would be a good challenge on us because most of our investors or most of our employers just think of the business. And later on they will if Dolly will come to them, visit them, then they can extend, okay, we I think we need to have a safety program for our employees, then they will do it. But I guess yeah, that would be a good ways forward later on if we could include from the business mindset, aside from having a business, but we hope that it would extend until how do I care my workers aside from giving them the right benefits. So that
True.
would be, yeah, a ways forward. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Okay, the fourth one. Okay, are there examples of good practices of tech platforms which include worker safety and health in their business models and operations? Have you
Yes.
encountered? Okay.
Yes. If you see the safety report to be launched tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, you can see a lot of good practices already presented in the report. But the business model, yes, for example, the construction sector in Japan, for example, the good practice, the technical platform, the construction is the exposed to a lot of hazards, and then they apply the very new technology to using the robotics and automation, and also the AI, and it actually the very obvious benefit to protect the workers from the injury, especially for the fatal injury. So the accident is very costly.
Yeah.
Not only the direct cost of the healthcare, medical care, but also the repetition, turnover, new recruitment, or the loss of the facility equipment. Is the huge amount of the loss of the money, right? So the investment of the new technology pays. But of course, I know most of the enterprises in Asia is the small micro-sized enterprises. Sometimes they cannot afford the new technology. However, we have to think about how we can apply the feasible new technology like internet, online something, is somehow feasible even for the micro enterprises. So we can introduce the good point, good example, good practice, the already taken in the large company, apply in the small enterprises, and so that's why the sharing good practices, the one of the solution to apply new technology for the all workers workplaces.
Okay. Thank you, Dok Yuka. Okay. Let's now go to the next. Okay. How many questions do we have? Okay. Ilang questions ba yan? Okay. Okay. Let's now go to number 5. Workplaces which are usually able to access technology platforms in large enterprises
Yes.
located in urban areas where all services are accessible. There's still a lot of smaller businesses in rural and remote areas which don't have access to our services. Can you please give examples of good practices for our services from education, prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation extended to workers in smaller establishments and rural areas?
Yes,
A
as
long question.
just to say, the that trial should be carried out in the large company. No, it's the big investment, and we don't know what will happen when the new technology is introduced. So the role of the large company is the trial, and if they have the good practices, including the lessons learned. If they have any problems, the technology needs to be further developed, updated to avoid, to prevent such negative impact. No, once the good practices is very well communicated and commonly shared, then the smaller enterprises can apply. And at that time, by that time, that technologies, the cost is getting reduced. The first generation is very expensive, and actually small enterprises cannot apply, cannot afford. But a couple of years later, it can be applied even for the small enterprises, because that is the business of the technology company. If they keep the very high cost, they cannot sell. No? So that is the business of the technology company. They need to discount, they need to reduce the price for their business. So that is again, this is the balance between the new high technology and the demands.
Thank you. Okay, I hope you were able to answer the question. We are able to satisfy the one asking this question. Okay, let's now proceed to the next. So it says here, technology also has the potential of enabling stakeholders, government, workers, employers to gather a lot of data. But using this data is another thing. What suggestions or models can you recommend?
This is the very good question. That is the always issue. The academia and the research institute has the capacity, and they carried out a lot of researches. But very often, it's not very often, but sometimes the research is just for research. I really want to say research should be applied to the practice. So we need to strengthen the linkage and the connection between the researcher and the practitioner or the policy maker. If we can get the research result, which can be applied to the policy and programs and practice, that is always is the technology is advanced, right? So in the Philippines, you are the very good, the position you have advantage. You have a lot of institutes, university, academia exist in the Philippines, and they are very high capacity. They have very high capacity on occupational health and safety. So I would suggest to make the good connection between the research institute and policymaker and practitioner.
Mm. Okay, that's a good suggestion, Dr. Yuka. Okay, now let's go to the next question. Okay, what safety measures can be implemented to reduce the risk posed by AI in high-risk industries? What role should government and labor organizations play in regulating the deployment of AI in workplaces?
This is not easy to answer, but the AI is very good to learn from the experience. If we provide the information and data to the AI, they learn and they analyze very, very quickly, no? And they give us the answer. So the AI and ourselves is they influence each other. If the human being does not give the information and data to AI, AI doesn't develop updated.
Yes.
So we need to give data to AI system, and AI get the data and analyze and give us, return us with the very good solution. So that is the two-way communication, two ways the interaction between AI and human being. So the important thing is the recording, reporting, notification of anything, hazards, risk, accident. We need to give the information to AI.
To AI. Okay, but let us not let AI control us. We have the
Yes, of
we should
course.
be the one controlling the AI.
AI is just a tool, isn't
Yes.
it?
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Yuka. Okay, next. Okay. Does ILO have any related programs that will enable MSMEs to adapt to the changing work environment, particularly in utilizing AI?
Yes. Still, ILO is learning because of course, the AI is new to us as well. But we are trying to use AI wisely without any risk. So that is not only the ILO, we are working with the other organizations, not only UN, but for example, G7. In my presentation, I said G7 or the EU OSH agency or any other professional agencies to work together, how we can utilize the AI and share the information to user member states. Let's see, it's still ongoing.
Yes, and we will be waiting for that, Dok Yuka. We will be, for surely, you will be one of the participants when you will conduct this training. We will share with us anything that the ILO can develop. Then Philippines we will be one of the participants in the future in having this training. Thank you. Okay, let's now go to the last question because Dok Yuka is now maybe he's tired already. Okay, number 9, that last question already. What are implications of AI technology on the future? What are the implications of AI technology on the future of health and safety?
It is very interesting question, but who knows? Who knows? But as I said, AI can develop, AI can upgrade it with the data human being provides, right? So that mean we can give some direction by the data, what kind of data we provide to AI system. But anyway, of course, the ideal safety and health is the no accident, no disease, no injury, no hazards, no risks. And the AI give us some hint and tips. But the human being should implement. AI cannot take action, right? So we need to learn each other, and we need to take good point. Of course, sometimes AI provide us the not good answer. So we need to see very carefully what is the feasible, what is the effective solution proposed by the AI.
Okay. Maybe the one asking this one is maybe he's in fear that maybe AI will replace him as a safety officer.
No, it cannot be.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Doc
Thank
Yuka.
you.
Okay. So this, thank you, Doc Yuka Uhita, the senior OSHA specialist from the International Labor Organization, for this sharing. So you may also send an email, askbwc.dole.gov.ph, or call our Dole hotline 1349. Again, please follow us at Dole BWC 1949 or Facebook or X, YouTube, and Viber to stay up to date with the latest announcements and activities from BWC and Dole. I-share po ninyo ang video na ito sa inyong mga friends, family, and colleagues. At huwag kalimutang gamitin ang hashtag Webinar Wednesdays para mas marami pang maging informed sa programa ng Dole BWC at ng kanilang mga attached agencies para sa kapakanan ng mga manggagawang Pilipino. On behalf of the Bureau of Working Conditions, on behalf of our Bureau Director, Attorney Alvin C. Bicorada, maraming salamat po sa iyong pakikiisa. See you sa ating susunod na episodes and magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.
Para sa mga katanungan at karagdagang impormasyon, maaari po tayong tumawag sa Dole Hotline 1349 o sumuni sa mga Dole Regional o Field Office na nakakasakop sa inyong lugar paggawa.